What's up, everybody? It's your boy here, Minister Dom here, and welcome to another episode of the That's What He Said podcast. We are very excited to be here. I got the squad with me here. What's going on, crew?
What's good?
Hey.
So our That's What He Said podcast began at Hand of God Ministries. So if you're searching for a podcast that deciphers religious messages, makes them relatable, look no further. Our podcast offers pearls of wisdom on a number of topics like personal development, finance, and marriage. In addition, we have engagement reviews on movies and commentary on relatable day-to-day situation featuring your host, Minister Dom,
Leah Feemster,
Minister Sam,
Anthony Feemster.
and thanks for tuning in.
Well, this is our 4th episode of That's What He Said.
Yeah, episode
Can
4.
you guys believe it? This is our 4th episode. I would say that being our 4th episode, I feel like we've grown since the first one. We've got a whole different setup here. I know you guys can't see it, but there's less cables. We've got phones everywhere. We've got a lot of equipment, but it just shows that we know how to use what we have before we can get what we want. And I think that's pretty big. I do. I really think that's pretty big.
That was good. That was good.
No, no, but seriously, we're using what we got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't let it stop us, getting the right things before. We just use the resources that we have to make it happen. So we weren't inhibiting ourselves.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, we're in the beautiful city of Flint, Michigan, and if people don't know, Flint, Michigan has been through a water crisis. Before that, we were historically known for our General Motors plants.
Generous Motors.
Generous Motors. A lot of our grandparents migrated from the South to come here from work, so we've got this Midwest Southern hospitality in Michigan. And so Flint, Michigan has been on the map for the water crisis, for Hogarth explosions, for having, honestly,
everything.
A lot of people. We got Clarissa Shields, who is a renowned greatest woman of all time, female boxer,
undefeated champion,
undefeated champion of the world, and Eric Mays.
Not to mention rappers too, right?
Right.
The city of Flint.
Dayton family.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, for real. I mean,
music.
You have to
Ready for the world, all
right.
stuff.
We've got Ready for the World. We've got a whole bunch of musical artists, athletes, Kyle Kuzma,
Feemstro
in the building.
So we have so many people from Flint, Michigan, and then we have Eric Mays. Our first ward councilman is going viral on TikTok.
Got the floor.
Do I have the floor? Do I?
Yes,
Do
you
I?
do.
You have the floor. Thank you very much.
What a fool.
I can't speak without having someone overtalk me, point of order, and also make mimicking things like that. I mean, is that an order, Mr. President?
It's new to them. You tricked them. Hey, I need to talk to you. Oh, I got a call to go to the mayor's office. Nasty elected.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Must be removed if he persists in calling.
He's mimicking and he out of order basically. That has nothing to do with what the motion that's on the floor.
Mr. Yes, Mays, it do. Mr. Listen.
Councilman Mays, don't
you interrupt me when I start talking. So don't.
Mr. Mays, you are out of order, and I'm giving you your warning.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Disorderly.
I'm sorry.
I rule you out of order, and I ask that you would be dismissed from this meeting.
Nope. And a actual hearing what he said it. This gonna stop. I don't care nothing about no rules. This gonna stop. I'm like, I don't care nothing about no rules. Now what type of...
We have got to help the city of Flint. We have got to move the city forward. We have got to vote yes on this. Thank you.
Ms. Herkenroder, you the reason that I'm vote the way I'm going to vote because you tried to put words in my mouth like I said you was a racist.
What do you guys think about that?
There's so many things.
It's definitely a mixed emotion because on one hand, he knows the rules of being a councilman. And on the other hand, he's Eric Mays.
He is.
Like, he is himself. So it's like, do you fault him for knowing the rules? Just because he's him? Because according to the first ward, he gets the job done. According to people that vote him in every other year, he gets the job done. So,
They're very happy with him.
yeah, the first ward is very happy with him as their council person.
What do you think the poll is? Like, why is he going so viral?
Out of order.
I think it's just the sensationalism of it. Like,
Right.
here's this black man, and it's almost like he's on stage, right? And it sucks because here's this black man in influence in a position of power, and whereas he's doing some things that are good, he's also often being recorded as demeaning women in that room, saying some wild stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and it bothers me, and also it's mixed because I'm glad that we have a black man who is representing the Flint City, but it's mixed for me.
Definitely. I think that the recordings have been recorded for years, and somebody just decided to take all the points where he has
Yeah.
gone off and just put them on TikTok.
And they making money off of it. Like, the Eric Mays TikTok page has like 3 million followers.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
did
is
not know
like,
that.
yeah, like, he is huge. Like, we're known for like Eric Mays now.
Yeah.
Like, that's Eric Mays City.
Eric Mays' the city.
Like he was in Dallas this past week, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's Eric Mays." They got T-shirts, like he got merchandise now, and I'm like, can we get the roads fixed? But I know that's not his responsibility to fix the roads. He argues for the first ward.
Yeah.
Like, the first ward is taken care of. It's a pothole, it's fixed because he go down there and he cut up for his people.
I can appreciate that though. I think there was I think last hour in the Word, Bishop talked about how a lot of women appreciate men in leadership or in powerful positions that they can make about change and get things done. And I don't know, that just makes me really happy. I mean, obviously I'd be even happier if it was a woman. But
Why?
because I'm a woman, and you know, most of the time, most women that are in power are often kind of seem like we have an attitude or aggressive, or then sometimes we're over sexualized, or you know, we're trying to fit in so bad. It's like they're taking away every opportunity to be like, wow, she's really in position and she's knowing what she needs to do, because it somehow gets misconstrued in her appearance or how she speaks, or if she's polite or not, you know. But if Eric Mays can, you know, go off, imagine if a woman, same position, and they would sometimes turn the tables and make it seem like, oh, well, she's hard to work with. You know how they do?
Yeah.
She's
Oh, yeah.
creating a hostile work
Yeah.
environment. And maybe
Absolutely.
she's just
Yeah.
confident. Maybe she's just confident. Maybe she's just secure in herself. Maybe she's just an independent woman that really knows what she's talking about and doesn't really need any validation. I don't know. But that would make me happier. I mean, I'm happy now because I'm happy Flint is getting recognized for more than water. But it would make me a little bit happier to see it be more recognized for, like, work that black women do in the Flint community, because I think it's, like, very extensive. But, you know, that's just me.
I think I want to co-sign a lot of what you just said. Just say yes and yes. Like, I gotta say, like, being a woman in working in career environments, like, there were not a whole lot, particularly of black women in leadership, that I didn't have. I've had 1 or 2 black women supervisors in my lifetime, and so now I'm a supervisor. Like, I recognize what that represents to people, and particularly the students that I get to work with, or younger folks that I get to work with, right? But, you know, I also think about the city of Flint. I think about other Black women business owners like Egypt Otis, who owns Common Bookstore, right? And
Yeah.
was on the, was on the
Wakanda Forever MasterCard commercial.
the Jennifer Hudson show. Thank you, Anthony. That's what I was thinking of. But just that shows other representations also of the city of Flint doing some amazing and awesome things.
Yeah. I do want those things to go viral as well.
Yeah.
I think it shows that, especially with him of his age, being in city council, that he does know his stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, his approach is a little harsh, but he does follow the rules or the book of a councilman. Granted, whatever he does in his personal life is his personal life. And I think sometimes with us as believers, we don't go to the same extreme as like Councilman Mays does in understanding how it's supposed to be done. Like, he is by the book. He knows what's supposed to happen in the city council meeting. He is quick to tell you, you're out of order. I'm asking the questions you're supposed to answer. You're not finna waste our time with this. And I think us as believers can kind of glean from that piece on, we serve the God of unlimited. And we want to like have a pity party and not be as, forthcoming on like, we got this, or we can do these things, or there's a certain way that we can get success.
I agree. What about you, Feemstra?
I mean, I like him. I remember being at Bethel United. I used to play the organ at Bethel United, and he was at the church or whatever. I didn't know he was as active as he is in councilman and everything like that, but he was always himself. And I think about that whole going viral thing. It's all about perspective, because we can't choose what other people's perspective is about us.
Jeez.
Every time I get on the game, and I say where I'm from Flint. Man, how's the water? Like, that's their perspective.
It is.
I mean, we can do something about the narrative. We can, bring in different things and fix the roads and fix the water and fix this. But people as a whole will always choose what they want to be their perspective of us.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
And as harsh as that may feel and harsh as that may sound, Flint, I remember murder capital back when I was in high school. Yeah. Murder capital, murder. Then it was water. Maze. Schools. It's like people choose what they want to allow to be their, main perception, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
But, I think that, we can really learn a lot from this, whether it's, him truly being himself 100%, that comes with things that we don't agree with,
Yeah.
And just like anything else, it's like,
yeah.
Are you going to not accept him because we don't agree with some of the things, or are you going to accept him because he's 100% himself? And I'd rather accept him because he's 100% himself. Now, we can put on the grace coats and do all this other stuff, but I mean, I get it, man. He doing his thing, it's just funny to watch. It's great comedy, I appreciate all that he does for the city. And he's not your traditional councilman that everybody is expecting, but maybe that's what we need. If he's able to get stuff done, and you got tons of councilmen and councilwomen that ain't getting nothing done.
Yeah.
I'd rather take somebody who's getting something done. But yeah, I think that's crazy. Like his perspective on a lot of different things is amazing. Honestly, he has the grace to say certain stuff. I mean, I feel like, like what you were saying, if he was somebody else, or of another gender or whatever it may be, he probably would have been put out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's working the system so well, like he knows the people he's working with and everything. Man, it's funny to watch because
this dude.
Ooh, you can tell they be gunning for him, but they can't get rid of him, Doc.
Right, man, they can't touch him.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a good point too, what you were saying.
yeah, and when you brought up perception, because the only way he's in office is the people that his constituents have to vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
We may think he is, trash. They don't think so. And that's the big point. I think many of us, like you said, we get caught up in, the perception of it, not looking at a full spectrum. Because, like, the first war, they voted me in faithfully. Like, he been in there for, like what, 20 years? Like, bro.
Yeah.
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 Well, Anthony was talking about that it's probably just kind of how you perceive it, because someone being that confident in themselves is always going to get some kind of kickback, because every time you're confident in yourself, so you're going to have people that don't agree with you or don't think the way that you think, or try to make that confidence kind of seem negative. And I think that's what Bishop had talked about on the Word. He was talking about perception. And let me just tell you about Bishop for 2 seconds. He didn't preach like the whole month of March. And
Right.
He got so much ammo for April, and I'm pretty sure May, June, July.
Yeah.
But this dude is unrecognizable.
Like, no, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Killing it.
He really is. So, at Our in the Word, he talked about perception a little bit. And he was just talking about how people are building for you, but sometimes, like, you can't see it. And he gives the example when the children of Israel were trying to look for the promised land.
Oh, man.
And little Bible story.
Jeez.
Moses got the people out of Egypt, like all the slaves.
Right. Out of slavery.
All out of slavery. And what should have took them, what they say?
40 days.
What should have took them 4 days?
Like a simple
Took them
trip.
40 days.
No, it took them 40 years.
40
40
years.
years.
Yeah, my bad. It took them 40 years to get somewhere that they could have gotten in a couple of days. And it was all because people's perceptions
Good Lord.
were messed up.
Jeez.
And so, if you don't know the story, Moses got the children of Israel out of Egypt. They're going to the promised land. He had split the whole sea. They walked through. They were walking through the desert. Manna had came from the sky. So food was literally raining from the sky. And people were complaining, like, when are we going to get there? This is taking too long. I should just go back to Egypt. We didn't really have to deal with this. Yeah. I should just go back to bondage at this point. Because we didn't have to deal with it.
It's too long.
Hey, yo.
I mean, that part.
Seriously.
Talk
we could
about
stop
that.
there.
Talk
We
about
could
that.
stop
That's
there.
crazy to think about. You
That
left
was
getting
better
beat
than-
your whole life. And you rather go back to it because this place, I just don't like how this is happening.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like how this is going. It's not going the way I want to. So let me just go backwards to the place that you literally prayed to get out of. Like they prayed for generations to get out of bondage. They crossed over the sea. I don't know how I would see if we walked downtown and the Flint River was like picked up. Like, like it's split, dry. They walk across. I'm sick of this guy. You can just put me back in the hole. What?
There's something predictable about that, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we were
Yeah.
talking about this.
Talk
Y'all
about
don't
it.
know. We're talking about this at Discover Me Blue, which is a wonderful group that we have on Saturdays. We were talking about when people are leaving an unhealthy relationship and how sometimes they may go back several times before they leave, for instance, an abusive relationship, because they know they can predict, like, this is how this is going to go. But when you leave, you don't know if they're going to be coming for you this way or that way. The uncertainty of it, right?
Wow.
And so, so I'd rather just go back to that because I know what that looks like, but I don't know what my future looks like.
Jesus.
That's
Lord.
actually deep.
Lord, help us.
And it shows you, too, that, like, miracles do not keep people. No, it doesn't. So, like, even all the tricks and spells or whatever you can do, it's not going to keep people.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Food was raining from the sky.
Right.
The sea parted.
And they still was like,
And they still wanted to go
like, nah, you can send me back. That's crazy. Then
don't keep
and that didn't change our perception.
It did not change it. Like, that's wild. But it's like, how many times do we say, God help us? Then he help us, and then we go right back into a situation happen. We like, man, this just ain't going for me no more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not meant to be. And I know God be sitting there like,
you gotta be kidding.
Like, you got to be kidding me.
You got to stop doing
like,
that.
Right, you got to stop doing it. You got to stop doing
Eric
that.
Lay's voice.
You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that.
Stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. Yeah, so miracles don't keep people. Obviously, seeing all that, I mean, that's the closest I think that people could have seen how good that God was. Seeing basically manna coming from the sky. So, yeah, miracles don't keep people. And I think what I was trying to say is, like, I get like that too, though.
Yeah.
I get like that too. I mean, God didn't necessarily drop food out of the sky for me, but when I didn't know when our next meal was coming from, he provided it. And so, like, why am I questioning him on the other things? Right? I know I'm not alone, but dang, I know I'm mad at the children of Israel for how long it took them to where he promised them. But dang, I get like that too. Like, maybe I'm holding myself up sometimes.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
They weren't, I don't feel like, they weren't in agreement, and, God gave the vision to one person. And sometimes when people don't see the vision, they question it, they question themselves. Same thing with Noah, in the ark. Same thing with Paul. Same thing with, you can look at any point in the scripture where a vision was said or something was said from God and people went against it until they seen it.
Yeah.
They went against it. And that's because their perspective is not, think about it. How can I have, and that's what we're trying to get to as a leader. How do I share my perspective with the people that I lead to the point where they get it and they can run with it? Yeah. When I'm teaching music, I'm trying to get you to understand something. When I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm trying to get you to understand my perspective. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. If you can understand my perspective. They did this thing in class. I was a comm minor. And they did this exercise where, just like how we're set up, they would have a piece of paper here on the ground. Or they would have a piece of paper here, and they would have a piece of paper on your side. And the teacher would say, take your left triangle and place it on the left side. All right, now take a circle piece and place it here. And then when you reveal what you had versus what they had, you're like, how did they get that? Because they said place the the rectangular side along the bottom. And you're like, oh, I meant the bottom. I thought that meant the bottom of the paper. And it's like, no, that meant the bottom of the house. Well, that meant, so when you reveal, it's like, whoa, like we got two different things. We're in the same room, but we have two different ideas of the same thing.
Yeah.
So when somebody says Flint, Michigan, there's a million different perspectives. I have a perspective of Flint, Michigan. You have one. You have one. You have one. People that are not from here have one.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, okay, when it comes to God's word, how do we get on the same page about what His perspective is?
Thanks for listening. Are you looking for a fun and engaging podcast to listen to? Look no further than That's What He Said podcast. Join our Facebook group to get in on the action as we discuss the latest messages from Hand of God Ministries and talk about all things related to the show. We love hearing from our fans, so be sure to share your thoughts, feelings with us, and help get some great conversations going. Do you want to get more involved? Follow your favorite hosts on social media and learn how to sponsor our next event by emailing hogumpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're feeling really generous, consider donating to our podcast equipment fund. Every little bit helps to continue to provide us with the best listening experience for you. Just click on our links that we have below, and we'll see you Sundays at noon, 3408 on Miller Road.